Before we begin this video, I recommend that you visit google.com and search for dinardata.com. This website is a great resource for the latest updates on Dinar Guru news, all conveniently located on one page. For more information, I encourage you to visit the site.
Parliamentary Committee to NINA. A government team is preparing a new draft of the oil and gas bill. Quote, Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani has assigned a tripartite ministerial team to prepare a new final draft that will be presented first within the Council of Ministers for approval, and then sent to the House of Representatives later. The budget will be overturned by the court, deemed unconstitutional probably by mid-September. Absolutely nothing is going to happen in Iraq till the budget gets overturned by the court. The budget is not published in the Gazette yet. That's still outstanding. On the bond side, it was a little quieter today than I expected. So far I do not have any confirmations of folks sitting with dollars. I do have one that had a conference call today and expects funding tomorrow about midday. I hope they receive it. All this time we've been waiting for the new exchange rate to come out. We've been waiting since the beginning of this year. Nothing. What's going on? It's scheduled. We have the budget, it's ready to go. What's going on? The problem is the thievery, those that steal. The bad politicians in the government of Iraq that steal the money through the CBI auctions have been tamed. The US Treasury is making all the decisions now. We know pretty soon Iraq is going to be here and talking to people in Washington about what they need to do to get back into good graces, have sanctions lifted on some of the banks and allowing Iraq to move forward with reform without looking for excuses to penalize them every time Iraq does something that pisses off the Biden administration. The Central Bank of Iraq has been on top of it. They've been working in conjunction with the US Treasury and Federal Reserve to get Iraq to be in compliance with international standards. If you're doing nefarious deals, you're going to have a problem. The key for Iraq for them not to be dependent on the dollar. If the economy is 100% energy, then they're going to be 100% dependent on the US dollar. How do they get their currency outside of that? They have to open up to doing business in completely different sectors. Then they can attach that part of the economy to the Iraqi dinar. And they can add value to the dinar as they see fit. That's always been the underlying goal of what we want Iraq to do. On the bond side, there are tons of expectations, even this morning, for bond payouts today and tomorrow. We have heard this before, but there are some big differences now. Which makes me hopeful that this will be it, and we will see real solid spendable cash with the bondholders. If this occurs, the rumors on the banking side is that by midweek we could see a schedule if not actual exchange appointments happening. Cross your fingers and wait to see if this is real. Today and tomorrow should be big for us to find out. Is floating the currency a solution to the crisis of the high dollar in Iraq? A representative explains, quote, there are calls to float the exchange rate in Iraq. Floating the currency is a procedure based on liberalizing the exchange rate, leaving it to market factors, supply and demand, to determine its value without any form of intervention by the economic authority. There are two types of floating. The first is absolute floating, and the second type is managed floating, i.e. the type in which the central bank intervenes to direct the exchange rate up or down, as it sees fit to achieve the interests of the national economy. Informed Iraqi sources revealed, Sunday, August 11, 2024, that Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein will visit Washington next month. The sources told the Iranian Tasnim agency that Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein and his American counterpart, Anthony Blinken, will read during this visit in a press conference a statement on the end of the mission of the International Coalition Forces in Iraq. Tasnim said, according to the sources, that the withdrawal of international coalition forces from all parts of Iraq, except for the Kurdistan region, is scheduled to begin in September 2025. She added, the international coalition forces will also evacuate the Kurdistan region in September 2026. A high-ranking Iraqi security delegation headed by Defense Minister Thabit al-Abbasi visited Washington at the end of last July, and a joint statement was issued regarding the security cooperation dialogue between the two countries. The statement said, an understanding was reached on the concept of a new phase of the bilateral security relationship, which includes cooperation through liaison officers, training, and traditional security cooperation programs, and the Iraqi delegation affirmed its absolute commitment to protecting the personnel, advisors, convoys, and diplomatic facilities of the United States and the countries of the international coalition. It is noteworthy that the head of the Supreme Committee for Ending the Mission of the International Coalition, Chief of Staff of the Army, Lieutenant General Abdul Amir Rashid Yarallah, announced on the 2nd of